Greetings and salutations. My name is Tish, and welcome to the Artist Haven, where home plus art equals heart. In today's live video broadcast, it is usually Learn with Us, because I have my pal Claire Lawrence from Claire Lawrence Art over here, but she's on vacation this week, so we're going to do Learn with me. And I am going to be mixing up how I mix up my pouring medium. Learn with me. And do we need to turn down my phone? There we go. Anyway, I have my phone over here so I can see chat if you have any questions, but we're going to start with how I mix my pouring medium and how I mix various different kinds of paints. We're also going to do a mix with mix, the mixed pouring medium, and just kind of do all the things today. So first off, of what I use for my mixing is I start off with obviously my ingredients. Just like baking, you need your flour, sugar, and stuff. So I need my stuff for my pouring medium, and then when I get that mix, I'm going to need my pouring medium and my paints. I use a scale because I like to be consistent and keep things consistent. So the best way to do that is to use a scale. Eyeballing things to me doesn't work. I'm not good at eyeballing unless I'm cooking. Then I can, eyeball a teaspoon of sugar or whatever in my hand. But I still need to like size it up, and it's hard to do. You can't size up paint in your hand. I mean, goodness knows. Anyway, so I use a scale. This is just an inexpensive Walmart version. I paid $15 for it. It's a glass top. It goes all the way up to 11 pounds. And if you're measuring out 11 pounds of something, goodness gracious, you've got a lot of going on. So first off is the scale, and then you're going to need a mixing utensil. You can use, I get these are silicone spatulas. God dang it. I keep tripping over my own cord. This is a silicone spatula. I got these at the dollar store. I grabbed like $10 worth because I knew I'd be using them for mixing paints, and they get washed all the time. And you can also find these at Walmart. They're around $1.50, I think. But you can also use paint mixing sticks, which you can get at Lowe's, Home Depot. I think they even have them at Walmart. But I get the bigger ones for me. But if you need to, you can use the little popsicle sticks. You can get these at the dollar store. You can get these in a big box at Walmart or any craft supply place. These ones I find when I'm trying to check for trace, and I'll go over that in a little bit. I find them hard to get a good trace with. But if you're mixing a little cup of paint, like let's say you're mixing something like an ounce at a time. This is a 1 ounce shot glass, I think. So they work the best in there because the big sticks are just a little cumbersome. I also do cut these in half when I'm mixing in a 5 ounce cup, which is about this size. So I can cut it in half and still have it reach all the way to the bottom without being too messy. So, but when I'm mixing paints, I like to use the rubber scraper, the silicone spatula, because then I can get into here and I can scrape out all the luscious paints. So you're going to need something to measure in and something to store in. You can use these to measure in, just regular cups, and then just put press and seal over the top. And just for reference sake, I got this roll and another roll of press and seal. This is 140 square feet. I got 2 boxes of it. I think it was $7, maybe 10 at Costco. And these have lasted me about a year and a half, 2 years, and I still have a ton left. So you press and seal it seems expensive at first, but it does really help save. Plus they're recyclable. You can wash them off and put them in your recycling bin. So that's what I opt to do. You're also going to need a mesh screen sieve. I use anything from this. These are sink strainers that I get at the Dollar Tree for $1 for this size and a smaller size. And the smaller size is great for like pouring directly into your bottles. But this works great for cups like this. But for my big measuring cups, I use this guy because this likes to fall inside. So this, again, Dollar Tree. Get inexpensive items because you're going to go through them. They're going to, like this one, you can see the mesh is kind of pulled through on the edge. So, but that doesn't bother me. As long as the main thing works, then we're good. All right. So, yes, yes, it is a godsend. Ginger. Oh, yeah, for your floetrol boogers. Yep. I call it the slime. So let's say a quick hello before we get started to everyone in chat. I see Doris and Ginger and Joanne and Peppermint Paints. I think your name is Denise. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. And Lynn. Good morning, Lynn. And Sue Ashworth, all the way from Australia, is joining us. Greetings and salutations. God help us if we're mixing 10 pounds of paint. Hey, I've done it. And Angie from Angie's Art and Crafty Creations is here. Good morning. Tracy Creating. Good day. Good afternoon. Is it afternoon there? Or evening. Early evening, maybe? Something like that. And also from Australia. Great to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. So, anybody else? Honey Wheat, good to see you here. I have not seen you in chat before. Welcome to the Artist Haven. And Diane is here. And hello, Kathleen from Cause Creations. Hello, sweet lady. So wonderful to see you. First off, I do want to apologize for last night if I seemed a little grumpy and a little snarky. About 20 minutes into the show, my head just started pounding. So I was a little off in my own world and a little crabby. So I apologize for that. But okay, so my pouring medium, I use glue and floetrol, which I got my floetrol over on the other table here. Because this stuff's liquid gold nowadays. So this one I've already opened. And anytime I open something, I write open on it, or I just put an O on it. And that way I know which one to use up first. And when you're buying your floetrol, I know it's going to sound weird, but I do this even still to this day. And even though Flood has taken most of the stinky stuff off the shelf, I always open it and smell it before I buy it and make sure it smells the way it's supposed to. Because I inadvertently bought 2 gallons of the stinky stuff. And I didn't realize it until it was way too late to return it. So I used it anyway. I just bought some good stuff and I mixed it with the good stuff so it didn't stink. So it worked. But so my pouring medium is 70% Flood floetrol. This is latex based. Do not get the oil based stuff because that won't work. Well, it would be a good experiment, I guess. I've never used it, but I don't know. Try it. And then I use just dollar store glue because it's easy, accessible to me. Every time I've gone to like a craft store to buy the big gallon of glue, it's gone and can't buy it online, and it's just Dollar Tree. It's awesome. So what I do is I mix up this is just a upcycled juice container. So I usually have 4 of these I mix up at a time. because it's just easier. But what we're going to do for 70-30 is we're going to do 2 pounds, 3 ounces of floetrol, and 15 ounces of glue. So, but before we do that, we're going to shake this baby up. I don't have the open problem, can only afford one at a time. Hey, I was there. I get it. But you know what's funny? I even do it with like yogurt containers in my refrigerator. So like today when I go grocery shopping, I know which ones are open right away. I don't have to like open up the lid, take it out, open up the lid. I can just see it. $1 a bottle for that glue, can afford that a lot. Yes. And honestly, I did the math, and buying it at the Dollar Tree is only like an extra 50 cents versus buying it over a gallon. But the thing I like about these is, I don't know if you notice this. Oh, thank you, Kathleen, for the super chat. I appreciate you. But I use these for this is my Dutch pour mix. So I rinse them out and I soak off the label and I reuse the bottle. So 50 cents extra to get something to store my paint in. And the thing I like about these is they're opaque, so they don't get exposed to ultraviolet light. I put a little paint splotch on the front, cover it with tape, and then I know what color's in there. I suppose once these are just custom mixes that I mixed up, so I don't really have a name for them. But once I start mixing them and have like the Artist Loft metallic blue, I'll write that on there. So that's what I do with that. Well, thank you for all you do as well, Kathleen. I appreciate you. I love your videos. And yes, bra-free zone for those that can do it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to strain out my floetrol so we get all those bogies, boogers, slime. I call it slime because it reminds me of slime. So I'm just going to dump the rest of this in there. I personally know about how much I need because I've done this so many times. And I might need to open the other one here, so we're not waiting for 3 years for this to drain out. Another tip, I pour in about a pound of water, which is about 2 cups of water, into one of these. And I rinse the bottle out. And then I use the glue that I rinse out the water. I rinse out the bottles of glue with water, and I put it all back in a container like this. And instead of adding just straight water to my paints, I add I call it preconditioned water. So I'm going to need to open the other one because this isn't full enough. So that way you're using every last drop of your floetrol. And nope, my Minnesota's showing. Shake this up. You're going to hear this a lot today. The squishy, squishy, squishy noise of mixing paint. Yeah, dish soap bottle works great, except for the fact that we get the big Dawn dish soap containers, those things. We get those because I have little pumps at each one of the sinks for dish soap. That way I can just pump it out onto my sponge or my washcloth. I know, I'm kind of weird. It's okay. You can say it. I say it all the time. So we're going to put this, and I know that's going to be right about right there. So after we open this, oops, I just wiped that on my pants. These are not paint pants. What am I doing in my studio without paint pants? Oh well. So I got my jumbo Sharpie here, but it works. So I'll write open on here. And then when I keep these, if they're not too crusty and not too yucky after I rinse them out, because I put my drips in here. I'll save a bunch of cups of drips and then I'll mix them together and make like a black base or a white base, and I'll use those as my bases. So I'm kind of recycling my paint. So this Sharpie will come off with 90%, the 90% rubbing alcohol. You spritz it on there, wipe it with a rag, it comes off. Also, a quick tip, if you used a Sharpie accidentally on your whiteboard, color over it with a dry erase marker and it'll come right off. Just little tips out there, just throwing them out there at you. Okay, so let's get most of that off of there. And then I gotta find a home for you. You know what? I'm gonna make use of this bottle bottom. There we go. Hey, that works perfect. I'm gonna have to remember that. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on my scale. I'll move this up so y'all can kind of see, maybe. Can you kind of see? Well, I don't think you'll be able to see the numbers. I tried to lower my camera down and it was like, nope, not today, lady. So we're going to turn the scale on. And I already have it set to the pounds. I do measure in grams sometimes when I'm working with mix because it's easier. Ratios are easier in my brain with grams. But this one I did the math. So we need 2 pounds, 3 ounces of floetrol. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to try not to spill it all over the place, because that's usually what I do. I might need more. Oh, nope. And these measuring cups, again, Dollar Tree. Don't put them in your dishwasher. I'm just saying, if you use them in your kitchen, don't put them in your dishwasher. The print will come off. But what do you expect for $1? Oh, I'm just a hair short. Like 4 ounces short. That's okay. We're just gonna get a little bit more. See, now this is where that little bottle strainer, the little sink strainer, it fits right inside there. So that's where it comes in handy. Let's do this again. We don't need very much. That should be good. Okay. Okay. Move that out of the way. Good morning, Brenda from Creations by Baby Doll. Hello, hello. How are you? I'm grateful to see that you're here. Okay, we're going up to 2 pounds, 3 ounces-ish. Because I never get it right on the button. Unless I'm, measuring out, well, even when I'm measuring out chocolate chips. Okay, so we're going to scrape out this. We're just going to put that extra little bit in there. That way we don't waste it. There we go. That was only a little bit over. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way. I cleared off my other table in preparation for this because I knew I was going to need to set things aside, because this side of my table is all like my tools and stuff, and it always looks like chaos over there. Okay, so I wiped off that spatula, and so we're going to tear out our scale. So it goes back to 0. And then I know I can get 7.5 by weight out of each one of these bottles. And there's actually a little bit more in there. But what I do at the end of the day is I stack one on top of, this is one that's open, but I've stacked all of them up, and it's about 3/4 of the way full. So that way I don't have to buy another bottle of glue. I have one extra. So we're going to tip this up, and we're going to go for 7.5 ounces. Now I probably could fit more pouring medium in this bottle. I could go up a little higher, but for me, this works really well because it gives me room to shake it up. Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to shake this up as soon as we get to. I'm going to set this down here and check chat. Yeah, you can never have too many chocolate chips, right, Lynn? Unless you're allergic to chocolate, which, you know, Lord have mercy on your soul. I'm sorry. Thank you, Kathleen, for stopping by. I appreciate you. All right, so are we at 7.5 yet? Not yet. Come on, baby. This is the part where I put it down and I go to the bathroom or I get myself a beverage, or because this is the part where it's got to drip for a minute. And I found even if you stand them upside down, you know, in a cup, you know, if you put them in a cup like this upside down for a while, it doesn't help. So it's just, you know, you just kind of learn things as you go. All right. Well, now we're over 7.5. We're at 7.7, which is groovy. All right. What happened to that lid? Oh, well. I'm going to tip these upside down anyway. So I'm going to put that one there. And we're going to open this one up. And then we're shooting for 15 now. So now that we got that extra little bit out of that other bottle. And I just kind of massage it. Show it some love. There we go. Okay. Yeah, all the more for us. Yeah, I like your thinking, Lynn. I always said if I developed an allergy to gluten or chocolate, I think I would die, or dairy. I think I would curl into a little ball and just wither away to nothing. Okay, we are at 15, so we're going to put this little retainer cap in there, put the lid back on it, and we're going to write open on both of these. You can use a China marker too. I have a China marker. I have a Sharpie. I have all the things that to write with. I kid you not. Okay, so we're going to stand these up in my little thing over here. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to put the lid on this. And we're going to shake it up. So since we strained this already, you don't need to strain it again unless it sits for a while. If you let this sit for like even a week, I still would, you know, I still would strain it because you might get that, because there's air in here and you're going to get a little bit of a film. So don't you hate that you're in the middle of a live and you're watching a live and you're trying to learn something and someone calls you? It's like, gosh darn it. Oh, you're going to go pour soap. I miss pouring soap. You'll have to tell me if you do hot process, cold process, or melt and pour. That's true, Doris. That's very, very true. All right, so I usually shake this for a couple, 3 minutes. And then I usually let it sit for a few hours just to make sure that glue and the floetrol they mingle together and they get all happy. So I have another one that I already have mixed up. Magic of television. Even though we're not on television. So let me grab this one. I have a shelf behind me that I keep all my pouring mediums on. So let's give this a shake. And we're going to need that strainer again. And I'm actually going to strain it into a cup. Okay, because this one's been sitting around probably for about a week, week and a half. So, bye, Brenda. See you later. Have a good day. Okay. So, most paints that I use are either craft paints or a medium body paint. So, one thing I also mix is my background paints. So we'll go through all of those. We're going to go step by step by step. Now that we have our pouring medium, I might have to dip into that other one that I just mixed in. I don't know. We'll see. So I need to bring my strainer back. I got too excited. Okay, there we go. So what I usually do when I'm mixing up a new paint that I've never mixed before is I always, it's like resin. You put part B in before you put part A in because A is thicker. Well, paint is thicker than your pouring medium. So you are going to put your pouring medium in first. So I usually start with a 1-to-1, a 2-to-1 ratio, and make sure that I have enough paint to do that. So I have this color shift acrylic paint. This is the Dragon Flash. So I found it at Walmart a couple weeks back, and I just haven't had a chance to mix it up, but I want to use it in a painting. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, there we go. I thought I was going to have to get out my rubber mallet. So we're going to go 4 ounces of pouring medium. There are boots. Okay, we got 5. Let's go 5. So that means, okay, let's go 6. Goodness gracious. Oh, and I forgot to strain it. Golly jeepers. Okay. Well, that worked out because now I can do 4. There we go. And see, this is why I strain it. There's a few little, just tiny slimers in there, so it's not a big deal. Okay, let's set this to the side. So we got 4 ounces, and we're going to do 2 ounces of paint. I'm going to shake up the paint. Always shake up your paint if you can. All right, and then we're going to open this up. And I don't use the flip tops. I just, because who wants to argue with plastic? So I just take the whole lid off. And we're going to go up to 6.1 because that will give us our 2 ounces of paint. Oh, this is really pretty. Come on, baby. So, meanwhile, back at the ranch, I might just open the other one just to get me there. Okay. This is the tedious part, is like waiting for all the paint to come down. And I don't know if tapping actually helps, but it makes me feel better, so it's like, come on, paint. Come on, you know you want to. Plus, it's kind of fun. All right, we are at 6. So, come on, stop. No, it won't stop. There we go. Kind of roll it a little bit. There we go. So, let's put that upside down. That way I know which one's open. And we're going to stir this up. Stir and stir and stir. Now, if you notice, sometimes some paints it'll get kind of sludgy. If you put just a little bit of straight floetrol in there, I usually have a bottle like this, but my bottle broke and I just got new bottles last week, so I haven't created a new one. Just put a few squirts of straight floetrol in there, and it'll help break it up. I know Porridge Posse's Silver Spoon is one that doesn't like to mix with glue. It's just something about the glue. It doesn't like it, but you just keep stirring, keep stirring. You know, Dory says just keep swimming. I say just keep stirring. So I'm trying to see what my trace is at. My glasses are dirty. So 1, 2, 3. So you know what? We're going to roll with the 2 to 1, I think. So let's do the other 4 ounces because I'm going to fill the bottle up. So we're going to do, but before we do that, I'm going to put this to the side for a second. What I do with the paint that's inside here, I put it on my scale, and I take, because I have a bottle of pouring medium. This is my Floetrol glue pouring medium. I know because 1, it's color coded, and 2, it says pouring medium on it. I put a piece of nylon stocking on there to act as my strainer. And I'm going to put an ounce of Floetrol in here. And then I'm going to shake it up. So an ounce of pouring medium. So we're going to go to 1.5. There we go. Because I didn't tear it out. I was being lazy. So we got 1.5 in there. And then wipe off the edge. And then we'll shake this baby up. And we'll get the rest of that paint out of there. We're going to save it and put it in that one too. We'll just get all the paint because that's what we do. One of my little tips and hints for you is do not add water to your pouring medium, whether it's mix or anything like that, until you are ready to pour. If you store your paint in one of these bottles and you store it for, I've stored paints for weeks on end in those bottles. And, but I noticed that when I added water to this mix, even distilled water, it still got kind of funky. Let's just leave it at that. So when you're going to do that, then you just, when you're ready to pour, just put it in, whatever size cup you need and add your water to your consistency. My Dutch pour concoctions that I have, that's why I have the glue bottles. They're only about a quarter of the way full, maybe a little bit more, just because I didn't want that contaminant. Hang on, I'm just gonna put a little bit more in here because we're going to be using it anyway. And I can get this out of my way. So I'm going to put 4 more ounces in here. Whoa. But that's just me, and that's just my environment. I have a very humid environment. If you go through the paint really quick, go for it. I'm just saying what I have in my history. So give this paint a shake. Hello, Trisha. Good morning. Good to see you. Okay, and we're going to dump this in there. The reason why I added Floetrol to that one is I'm impatient. We're going to shoot for 6. Well, this one's coming out nicely. Well, I'll see how it is. It's always that last, like, 4/10 of an ounce that just wants to take forever. I'm trying to, while I'm doing this, I'm kind of looking for my Sharpie. There it is. Haha, I found my little Sharpie. That's my little Sharpie. If you watch Dollar General, they put Sharpies on sale. No one else really puts them on sale except for like the big packages. And, you know, I love the big packages, but I had a Sharpie addiction and I'm trying to not go back to that place. All right. All right, that's good enough. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take this that has the floetrol in it. Okay. And then we're going to pour it in here. And then what I do after this is, I'll show you in a minute here. So we're going to take this and we're going to shake it up. Oh, see, it went to 6. And now we should have, we should be able to go a little over, almost to 7, probably almost 8 after we dump this in there. Okay, that's good enough because we're going to do another little trick that I'm going to show you. So, oh, we're at 7. Really? Wow. Okay, my other little trick. So we got about a quarter, well, 0.3, which is a third-ish, almost a quarter, or, yeah. Okay, so we're going to stir this up. That is so cool. I think I might be able to show you the trace now because the cup's fuller, more full. Very cool, Ginger. I haven't done any kind of soaping in so long. I'm itching to do it. I've got my stick blenders. I've got some ingredients. Got access to a Sam's Club now. But someday. All right, I'm going to see if you guys can see this. So it's kind of hard to see because it's shimmery. But you see that it disappears at about a count of 3. So I mix all my paints to be a trace of 3. If I need it to be thicker, I'll pour some in a cup and add a little paint. So that usually works. So here is my other, actually, hang on, let's get rid of this cup because I want to use the spatula again. So we're going to put it, whoops, throwing stuff around. Okay, so this is how I set up a new bottle. And these are bottles that you get at the Dollar Tree. You can order them online. And I don't need this on anymore. Okay, well, it's going to tear it out. Anyway, so we're going to pour this in there. And then we're going to let it sit for about an hour. And we shake it up, and then it's good to go. Some people like to mix their paints an hour before, or the day before. For For me, depending on the paint, if it's a heavy body paint, yeah, then I'm going to mix it the day before. If it's a craft paint like this or a medium body paint, I usually find that an hour is sufficient. You don't have any paint chunks. But heavy body paint, you might have some paint chunks because it takes a minute for them to mingle and make friends. So just so you know, these are the dollar store bottles. And my neighbor is mowing, so I apologize for the humming noise in the background. But he likes to do that. Okay. So this is what I mean by I get every little bit out because this stuff is like liquid gold because it's got floetrol in it. And I treat mix the same way though because that's... So it holds about 13 ounces by weight and there's still little room to shake. And you can see I got that cut pretty darn clean. So let me try and get some of this off the spatula. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside. I let this dry, and then I hit it with rubbing alcohol and the 50% rubbing alcohol, and a few drops of Dawn dish soap in a spray bottle, and one of my paper towels that I have, my shop towels, and it wipes right out. It comes right out. So no washing dishes in the sink, even though I have a bunch in the sink right now. I just... old habits die hard. But when I moved out here to the studio, I'm like, I need to find a way to clean my cups without running water because I have no running water. So this, I'm just wiping it off. And this is why I get shop towels, is because I can use the same shop towel for a couple of days before I throw it out. Whereas at Viva or Bounty or even the cheap dollar store paper towels, you go through those like they're candy. And you're a 5-year-old. Okay. Yes, and yes, if you let it sit overnight, you'll have way less bubbles. But here's the thing. As soon as you stir it, you're going to add more bubbles because you're going to stir it before you use it. So you're going to add bubbles anyway. And I happen to like sometimes I want the bubbles because I want that speckled effect. I want my freckles. Okay, so here's what I do. I will put the tape on later. So I take my bottle, but everybody does their own thing differently. So, I'm doing this so you guys can see my way of doing it. And I will tell you, I watched Marcy, I watched Gina, I watched Mina, I watched all these people do their pouring mediums, and my pouring medium is like nothing like anybody else's. So, really, we all have our own way of doing things. So I write FA for folk art, and then color shift, which doesn't really look like color shift, but that's okay. Dragon flash. I write dragon big because it's dragon. And we don't know the opacity of these. I think you can get it on the website. I was checking the label just to make sure it hadn't changed since the last time I looked. Nope, just has the AP certification. It's made in Georgia. No, I don't remember that. Anyway, so I put that a little bit too close to the top, but that's okay. I'll change it later. So we did it. We mixed the ratio is 2-to-1. The 2 is always floetrol. Floetrol is always first, or pouring medium is always first. Paint is always second, at least in my categories. Now, if it had an opacity like this bottle, you can see I have my little O in the square. That means it's opaque. And then I also make a notation that I mix it to a trace of 3, and I put that in a circle. So that way, when we come back to mix more, which we're going to do, the next step is this one. But first, we're going to take one of these cups, and we're going to take some floetrol and water, And we're going to put a 1/2 ounce of floetrol and water in here. Okay. This is how frugal I am. So if you ever gift me paint or, you know, super chats and all that stuff, you know that I'm using that paint or that supply until I can't use it no more. So we're going to shake this up. Is Rhonda and Erica and Claire alive right now? Those stinkers. So I'm going to put this in here. Now, that bottle is empty. I mean, if you want, you could let it sit for a little bit and get that last little bit out. You can, like, I usually do it like this, let it sit, but we ain't got time for that. So I'm going to take the lid. This goes in the recycling bin. And now when I go to mix a Dutch pour with this paint, which I'm going to do later today, I have my water. Here's my 10% or 10% for mix, 40% or 30% for floetrol and glue. Well, 3 parts. So there we go. I'll put that right next to there. So I will put a piece of blue tape around it. And that's how I know that it's floetrol, glue, and water. And then I'll put this back in my bin if I need to. And I'll store it. I put the blue tape. When I say blue tape, I'm going to show you. I have blue electrical tape and white electrical tape. And that's what I have on all my bottles. That way I know this is floetrol. And the ones with white are mix. And I will put a piece of blue tape on this bottle and I'll write the date on it. And after, if I don't use it within a month or so, I'll just throw it out. Cause yeah. Okay. So let's do this metallic blue really fast. And then we're going to do the pouring base and then we're going to do a mix and then we're going to let you go. So next is a medium body paint. I'm going to show you how I mix in the bottle. So that's why we make this notation on the bottle. If you don't use bottles, if you use cups, write it on the cup. If you just use all the paint up right away, make a notebook. Make a notebook and write down the type of paint you're using, what you use for your pouring medium, your ratios. Also make a note of the temperature and date. So if you're in your studio in your house and it's 71 degrees in your house, make it and a date, that way you kind of know this is what worked at this time. Because I'm finding here in Southern Illinois, it changes daily. I swear to God. Lynn's got them both on. You're awesome. That's awesome, though. I miss my Clara. Okay, so it is 3-1. So I don't think I have more than 2 ounces in here. So we're gonna do 6 ounces of floetrol right in the bottle. Oh, Scooby-Doo. Let's see. I don't think I strained that one. Yeah. Actually, hang on. Oh, no, I don't have my little one. That's right. See, last time I mixed paint, I forgot to clean my... So, we're going to just pour this in here. See, this is why this is even after I filtered it and made pouring medium out of it. I don't know if you can see them, but there's those bogeys. the slime. All right, so 6 ounces, which I think I have here. There we go. And then we're going to do 2 ounces, so we're going to go up to 8.2 because we went a little over. So, oh geez. Okay, quick hint, quick tip for y'all, because I know I have it in the bottle here. Okay, so your bottle is getting really, really squished, and you're trying to get all the paint out of there. Get yourself a bench scraper. You can get these at the Dollar Tree for $1. You can get them at Williams-Sonoma for like $8. It's all up to you. Take it. I'm going to do it right here. Take it. Here's the tab on the end. And run it through. Yes, they do make little tube squisher thingies that you can buy. But I don't got money for that. So I need more blue metallic paint. Okay, there we go. So we got 2 ounces of paint and 6 ounces of floetrol. That is a 3-to-1 ratio. Put that in there, wipe off the edge. There we go. And this is why I do bottles, because I don't have to clean up cups now. And very, very, very rarely, if I use a lot of metallic blue. So, but if you have a paint that's been sitting for a while, you might want to dump it out into a cup and do your measuring, strain it into a cup, do your measuring and mixing, and then take your bottle and go give it a good rinse with the garden hose. So, a tube squisher thing that was my grandma's. There you go. See? Okay, so I showed you how to mix a new paint. I showed you how to mix an old paint. Let's see. Let's go into... Move that out of the way. We're going to go into the deco art, but we're going to use... we're going to use mix for that. But I want to move my floetrol and glue mixtures out of the way. And I just got paint on my pants again. God bless it. Okay. So we're going to move this stuff out of the way so I don't inadvertently grab the wrong thing. Because I'm notorious for that. Good morning, Janice. All right. So, I've got another deco art handy, but here we go. Now with mix, I mix in a cup because I want to make sure that I have it mixed well. And I also mix in grams. So we're going to change the scale over. And I got to find my notes here. Hang on. They got buried. Okay, so normally it's 7 parts mixed to 1 part paint. For my environment and my needs, I find that I do 70 grams of mix to 12 ounces of paint. So it's just that little bit more paint. I've gone all the way up to 20 grams, 70 grams of mix to 20 grams of paint. So that's more like 5-to-1-ish, 4-to-1, 4-to-1, 3.5-to-1. something like that. Anyway, I am not a mathematician. I am not an accountant. I'm an artist. So here we go. So we're going to tear this out. We're going to change. Come on, you. Really? I got a warped cup. Yeah, we're going to grab a different cup. That one's got a warpy bottom. Probably because it's been washed out one too many times. That one's a little better. Okay, we're going to change this to grams. So those of you overseas will understand. So what I do for this big cup is I do 210 grams of mixed pouring medium. I mean, you don't have to do 210. You can do 105 or whatever, whatever suits your fancy. But to keep that 7-to-10 ratio and keep it mathematically simple for my unmathematic brain, so we're going to do 210 grams of mixed pouring medium and then 36 grams of paint. So, and one of these days I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make a video and do a costing video. Whoop. Pour a little of that back. That went a little haywire. We don't need 250 grams. There we go. Oh, now I'm at 209. There. That should be good. Okay. 212 is close enough. I should have put my apron on, but I forgot. Okay. So, and the reason why I mix in a cup and then put it in the bottle and I don't mix directly in the bottle is mix is so much more thick than the floetrol and glue. It's hard to just shake it and have it be combined. So I'm going to tear this out again. And I can't get it open, so all else fails, force it. My fourth favorite tool in my toolbox is my Dollar Tree marble mallet. So it works great because now I can open the container. See? All right. Now let's get a little stick because I don't want to contaminate my paint. Cross-contamination with paint is not a good thing. Okay, so let's tear this out. Come on. There we go. My scale is being silly. So now we need 32 grams, which is an ounce of paint, or just a little over an ounce. An ounce of paint. An ounce is 28 grams. About 28 grams. So we're going to go. There we go. We're at 34, which is close enough. And then we're going to scrape the stick off. And because I need to mix more gold with the floetrol, I'm going to put this stick right on top of here. But I wanted to show you how I mix. So now when I'm doing mixed pouring medium, I don't worry about the trace so much because I find myself, I don't want to add any more water to this. I don't want to, it's already liquid enough. So I just, and it's usually right at 3. The only time I have not had it be at 3 is when I've added a heavy body paint. So good morning, Judy, and good morning, Pam. Wonderful to see you. So you can see maybe that it's about a trace of 3 just mixed up. I don't have to add water. I don't have to add anything. Sometimes I have noticed like some paints will make it super uber thin. So I just add more paint and it usually balances it out. So all right. There we go. And then I'll take and I'll put this Again, you can store about 13 ounces by weight um, in these bottles. They're the Dollar Tree bottles. They're two for $1. Yes, you can buy more expensive ones online. You're welcome to do so. I buy the Dollar Tree ones because I've had some of these bottles for well over 2 years because I used them in my kitchen first because I used to make homemade chocolate sauce, which if you are a member to the channel, it's on the members only list of videos on how I make my chocolate sauce. I do believe. I think the only one I didn't do was a caramel sauce, and I'm going to do that one because I'm making caramel sauce because Michael's daughter likes caramel sauce, so or caramel syrup to add into her coffee. There we go. See, this is why I use the silicone spatula. You're getting so much out of there. All right, and then we're just going to mix this up with what was left in there. Well, Pamela, good to see you. So we'll give this a shake. And then when I do these bottles are for mix Dutch pour consistency. So I will take this mix, measure out 90 grams, I think it was. I can't remember, but it was 10% water, and I use, again, when I'm done with my mix bottle, I will put water in it, distilled water in it, and I'll shake it and shake it and shake it, and that becomes my magical mix water, and I will use that to add to my paint. Now, some people have difficulty getting it to incorporate. I guess I'm stubborn, and if you've ever made mayonnaise by hand from scratch, you know how long it takes to mix that stuff. So, but I use these bottles. These were 2 for $1 at Dollar Tree. A lot of the stuff I get is at Dollar Tree. A lot of my practice canvases I get at Dollar Tree. You know, if you're just practicing and you're just learning and you're just exploring, you don't need to go out and buy a level 3 canvas from Michael's. You don't need to and I've poured on canvases up to 6-7 times. Sometimes I've let it dry, sometimes I've scraped it off, sometimes and just play in your paint, y'all. Getting your consistency is important, because my consistency is much different than Marcy from Mixed Media Girl. It's different than Gina DeLuca, different than Mina's. All these people, they all have wonderful different paintings, but their consistency is different than mine. And your consistency is going to be different than mine. Use these tricks and tips to get your consistencies the way you want them to be and what works for you. Some people can create marvelous art with really thin paint. I cannot. I've tried multiple times. I am a heavy-handed tipper. I like to tip it. Yes, I like to tip slow at first, but then I start going all wonky all over the place, and then it gets all discombobulated and whatever. So find your happy paint and create your happy place. So if there are no questions, consistency does depend on your environment and where you live. When I moved from Minnesota to Southern Illinois, I had to change my mix. I had to change my ratios of glue to floetrol. I used to do just 20% glue and I bumped it up because I needed that thicker base. I'm still having problems with cracking because we keep getting hit with cold fronts and everything. But one thing that I did not mention, and I did not do, but I don't want to keep you guys here forever. I'm trying to see how long we've been live for. Goodness gracious, tissue gab too much. So basically, when I do my Dutch pour base, I do equal parts floetrol and glue to the soft body acrylic paint here from Artist Loft. So I'll do 8 ounces of floetrol to 8 ounces of paint, and then I'll add an ounce of the GAC 800, and then I'll mix it all up, and then I'll add 1 to 3 ounces of water to get my consistency. I can tell what consistency it is just by hearing the sound of it. Like, it almost sounds like water. But that's how I do that. And I wanted to mix that up for you guys, but I'm not going to give myself time because I didn't want this to go over an hour, and I have. And there's just so much information I want to share with you all. But if you are not a member yet, maybe consider joining our membership crew. Those at gold level or above, either here on YouTube or over on my Buy Me a Coffee page, get access to my live streams, members only live streams, and platinum members get to have a half-hour consultation with me every month. I just did my first one with my first platinum member and yesterday, and it was wonderful and awesome. And I helped her, and that's what I am here for. I want to help you guys as much as I can. So if you ever have a question, come to one of our live streams and ask the questions. If I don't see it, someone will, and they'll be more than happy to help you out. Yeah, it is very hard to get consistency in Florida. We have the same thing in Minnesota because winter is a different consistency than summer, and even early summer will be different than late summer because the humidity is all over the place. We have more humidity than, I tell you. Here it's humid, but it's a consistent humid, but it's also humid and cold. We don't have that in Minnesota. It doesn't usually get humid and cold. Here it gets humid and cold. I don't understand that. Anyway, but yes, Janice, I love you too. Thank you. I honestly, this is my full-time job, YouTube and art and everything. So the more I can help you guys, the better I feel about my job. And it's just awesome. I love what I do, and I haven't loved what I do in a very long time. So thank you so much for supporting us here at the Haven. You supporting us helps us support others and help others. So I am grateful for every single one of you showing up today. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. And I will do my best to get back to you. Join us tomorrow night for Friday Night Flip Cup. And we have a surprise guest on Friday Night Flip Cup this week because Brooke is also, excuse me, on vacation. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I appreciate you. Remember, be kind to one another. Peace, love, and happiness.